characters, these aren't really Disney characters. I love the way that they're written, like the mom and the dad. That Billy Connolly is the king of the Scots, and I love the accent. I gotta admit, big sucker for the accents, you know. And Emma Thompson is the mother, Eleanor, and Merida Kelly MacDonald, I think, and like, they all have such great chemistry with each other. They do feel like an actual family, and they talk like an actual family, and there's a little bit more truth to it than what you see in DreamWorks or the old Disney Animation Studio stuff, where it's a bit more plotty. So the events themselves, like, there's a really wrenching moment where I don't think this is much of a this isn't much of a spoiler, where Eleanor gets mad at Merida, and she does the thing that you've probably seen in a lot of movies. Like, the event is something that you've seen all the time. She takes her bow, you know, because Merida's an archer, and she has her bow and arrow, and she throws it into a fire. And Merida just, you know, is shocked and hurt, and she runs out of the room crying, and Eleanor is angry, and then she immediately realizes what she's done, and scrapes the bow out of the fire and tries to put it out and starts crying. And that sounds really like, I've seen that in every movie. You know, that's really cliche. And everything in this whole movie is really cliche. But the execution is, man, you feel for these characters. There's a truth and a sweetness to how it's presented. And a lot of that is just the Pixar touch, and that's nice. But the writing is, you know, the base story is so wee. It's so small. And the movie doesn't really mean anything much deeper than family is the most important thing, you know, like, that's the message, in case you were wondering. It's the, you know, is it about, you know, strong females, or is it about, no, it's not really about Merida learning to be brave and to be a hero. I wanted it to be that. I wanted it to be Merida facing a great epic challenge to save her kingdom or something. It's about family and how you shouldn't hurt your family, and, you know, we may have differences, but we really care about each other. Yeah. Bet you weren't expecting that from the trailers, did you? That's why they're not revealing the plot. And the plot is so small. Man, so little happens in this movie. I wanted it to be an epic. I wanted it to be dark. And that's, okay, the bit I'll end on. I've said enough, I guess. The bit I'll end on is the best part of this movie to me, and I think the part that is going to stick with everybody, that parents have been complaining about, which is funny. Parents are like, children will remember this, and I'm like, children will remember that, you know, like, they should take this away from this movie, is Mor'du the bear. Mor'du is the antagonist, I suppose. He's this great demon bear that lives in the forest and occasionally pops out to antagonize humans. And, here's another problem, is we don't really know why Mor'du is so mean. I mean, okay, they tell you, but his motivation and his actions make about as much sense as most of the magic and the circumstances and the how of this movie. It doesn't feel like an inevitable movie. It feels like they took all the plot events that they needed to put in there somewhere in order to make the plot work, and then they tied them together with real loose string, and, like, it doesn't all necessarily work. There is magic in this, and there is a witch, and the witch is totally played for laughs when she probably shouldn't have been, because it's just not funny, and there's no gravity to it. You can't really take the witch seriously, and it's just, it's a DreamWorks movie, you know, like, and she makes sort of, like, there's a lot of modern jokes in this, and the modern jokes, like they come up to her cauldron, and it's like, if you'd like to speak with I'm away at the Wicker Man 932, you know, AD, reunion, or something, what she says. If you'd like to talk to a live homunculus, pour potion A. If you'd like to place an order, pour potion B. That's in this movie. That's what kind of movie this is. And it shouldn't have been. It's so small and twee and dorky. And, you know, going back to Mor'du the bear. Mor'du the bear is from a different movie. Holy shit, you guys, like, he's from a different movie entirely. The way they did his eyes, it's brilliant. Though he has, his eyes glow in the dark. He has dead eyes. You know, like, maybe he shouldn't be able to see quite right because there's such a glaze over them, but they don't look all the same all the time. Depending on what lighting he's in, they glow a little bit more red or clear or yellow or completely black, or just depending on how the light hits him and where he's... And any time, you could pause, not that I could because I was in the theater, but you could pause this movie at any time and Mor'du looks just gorgeous and terrifying. He is one of the scariest looking things I mean, with those great graphics and how he moves and everything. And so I just mentioned the eyes because I just start with that. But his teeth, his bear's teeth are really like ugly, and they're all up in the front, kind of. They're not throughout his mouth. It doesn't look uniform. He looks scarred and marred, and his fur is all matted and like balding in some places. And his back, he almost looks like he has a ridge of sorts, like a because his back, his shoulders are filled with arrows that have been stuck there and just never came out, and he's just covered with arrows, you know, and there's not a moment where you don't feel like he could kill everybody in the clan with one swipe, because they shoot at him, they hit him with stuff, and it just bounces off, and he's so scary, like. And so I hope that kind of sticks with kids. I don't hope it doesn't traumatize children. Here's the thing. I was scared to death I saw Lion King in the theater, and Scar scared me. The moment where he leaps out, everybody knows this. See what I'm doing? You know what moment this is in the movie where Scar does that? I remember it traumatizing me pretty badly when I was little. But you know what? I'm over it, and I remember The Lion King as this awesome movie that I saw. You know, like, it scared me for a short time, but whatever. I'd like to think more Do the Bear would have that effect on kids. Kids like to be scared. I don't know if you noticed this. You know, if it's just simple stuff like a big scary monster, kids like that. Don't know if you've noticed. But, so yeah, parents can shut the fuck up about more Do the Bear. He's the best thing in the movie. And he's the only part of the movie that gives you a little bit of gravitas, that makes you a little bit scared, makes you feel something, tense. Emotionally, like, as far as being moved and thinking, oh, that's sweet, and, you know, being moved down here in the heart. Yes, there's a lot of this movie that's like gonna make you want to cry and stuff. A lot of it. It's very emotional, but it's not in the writing. It's just sort of in the presentation and how pretty it is and how good the acting is. The acting is really good, and the dialogue's pretty good too, because, you know, the characters are written more like people and less like Disney characters. But the plot itself is like a low-end Disney movie, and it really made me sad. So, end of vlog. 2.5 stars. Definitely go see it on the big screen because it's really pretty, and it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad time at all. It's deeply enjoyable, but it is the end of an age for Pixar, because after this they have Monsters University. I think it's over. I think Pixar is... Not that they won't ever make good movies again, because Disney made Lilo and Stitch after they made, you know, a bunch of other shitty movies, so of course Pixar will make good movies again. Great movies even, but they're not going to churn out hit after hit like they did. It's not going to happen. I think this is, like, Brave was so twee. It was so simple and so shrug-worthy. And I've seen better DreamWorks movies. And it was so expected. Like, it wasn't... There was nothing powerful and unique about this movie. And that's what broke my heart about it. It was, it's not the least bit bad, but Brave, decent movie, really good for kids, definitely really good for kids, a lot of fun to watch, really pretty, and it broke my heart, so, don't know what else there is to say.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you?